So I've been at Horizon 13 months now, so just over a year, and I am well into my third season. So I had last autumn with the drills, I had this spring, and now it's mid-September and we're doing a lot of demos, a lot of set-offs, and away we go with these drills. So I've got quite a bit of experience with them now, and I just wanted to talk you through my favourite 10 things about them. They are an awesome drill. Operationally, absolutely love it. So I just want to show you why. Number one, look at it. Just look at it. That is a very good looking piece of machinery. Looks even better with the voucher and the weight block on the front. Right, number two has got to be this whole coulter assembly. It's the reason why everyone wants to buy a Horizon drill. Everywhere I take this, it gets really good feedback because of this coulter. The coulter runs on a parallelogram. It's got 32 centimetres of travel in it. Each one independently goes up and down by 32 centimetres. We've got the row cleaners on here. It's an undercut disc. We've got the closing system, the D-tuck diffuser. That is one hell of a coulter. Number three has got to be the job this drill does in the ground. So I'm getting him to slow down here. Hopefully we can capture just what it's doing as it's going along, and that undercut disc is cutting in, penetrating that soil, and then the closing wheel is just putting all the soil back over the seed. Can you see that? How it's open where the undercut disc has been, and then the closing wheel is closing it off really nicely. Fantastic. Every coulter will be the same. Look, it's open there, but then it's closing off. So if we dig down and have a look at the job the drill's done, it is quite nice conditions out here. This is on George Sly's farm. You can see how friable and tilthy his soil's become through the direct drilling he's been doing over the last 6-7 years. Closed for slot, absolutely perfect in every row. Fantastic. If we had wheat in there, it'd absolutely love that environment. It does exactly the same thing every time we put it in the ground. Right, here we go, number four, which has got to be how this thing penetrates the soil. So the undercut disc at 10 degrees is absolutely awesome for really digging into the soil, even in the hardest conditions. So I've put these outside 5 coulters into the deepest setting to show you how deep she'll go. And if you're worried about drilling beans, it's September, heavy clay. Look how that's penetrating so deep. I wouldn't want to put my wheat in like that. Let's see how deep she's gone in. Here's my trowel. Boom. So I'm drilling on heavy clay in September, and by that I mean 30% clay content in Lincolnshire, and I'm putting in 5 inches. I've only got it running at 30 bar. It'll go to 80 bar. Roughly, each 20 bar represents 75 kgs of downforce. So 75, 150, 225, 300. So roughly there, we're putting 100 kilos for each coulter. Let's see what she's doing. There you go, look. There's my 5 inches with only 30 bar out of 80 bar. Number 5 has got to be the air controlled downforce on the closing system. So that's this little black controller there. You'll see that is at 40 psi. We control that in the cab as we're going along. So let's go and have a look at the closing wheels. We're running at 40 psi. That will also go to about 80. So that's all on these airbags on every single one. So if I go to lift it, 40 psi, I can lift it, but there's not an awful lot of closing in there. So Lewis, if you knock that down, so Lewis is going to take the air out of that, and that'll take the air out of every coulter. He can do this when he's going along. So if we completely take that air out, you'll see that's going down about 30, and that'll slowly go over the next 5-10 seconds down to 20, 10. and then to nothing. So as the soil conditions change as you're going along, you can change the downforce on every coulter in 10-20 seconds. So if you hit a really hard patch that the baler's been, or the muck heap was, or hard heavy land where it's gone dry, you can crank more up. If you hit a wet patch under the trees, etc., you can take it right down, and it's just in seconds as you're going along. How are we looking? So it's at 10 psi at the moment. So there you go, see how easy that is. And if we give it a few more seconds, all the air will have gone out of that system. So there we go, that's basically it. I can lift that up with no force, that's just there on its own weight. So we can change a whole 6 metre, 7, 8 metre, 9 metre drill in seconds as you're going along from the cab. Imagine if you had to change a load of pins and springs on all these coulters. There's 32 on this drill and it's only a 6 metre. That's pretty cool. Number 6 is the row cleaners. So no-till disc drills, hairpinning can be a challenge. So hairpinning is where you're drilling into chopped straw and the disc doesn't quite cut through the trash and it encapsulates the seed in the channel and the trash starts rotting, and so too does the seed. So hairpinning is something to be wary of. It's typically when you're shallow seeding straight behind the combine into chopped straw. So if you're doing rape or stubble turnips, cover crops into chopped straw, when you're really shallow at 10-15 mil, that's when hairpinning can be a challenge for a no-till disc drill. So the row cleaners are the stars on the front of the drill and they just move that trash out of the way. Let's get Lewis to fire her up and see how they work. So you can see those stars going in there and they're just parting the trash out of the way. So they're clearing the furrow of any chopped straw. So you can see how they're throwing all that chopped straw out of the way, and that just cleans the furrow ahead of a drill. So if we dig down and look at the seeding zone, although this is quite a trashy area, we got trash on top. If I put my trowel down and look at the seeding zone, where my seed would be is going to be completely clean. Not all of the trash, but 80-90% of the trash will have gone from the seeding zone. So number 7 is access and how easy it is to get into this drill to work on it. So when I'm calibrating or emptying bags, I lift her right up on the rear transport wheels, I push the coulters right out, and that means I can just walk straight into the drill and get to everything I need to. So the coulters are coming out there, I can walk straight in, push these hoses out the way, and here I am at the metering system. So calibrating, emptying her out, whatever it might be, changing the rotors. If you do need to empty it out, you simply pull this rotor out, which is on these two knobs there, and then I've got this slider which regulates how quickly it will come out, and I'll empty it into a half-ton bag. But you can see how much space I've got in there. Easily get a half-ton bag in underneath, 300-400 kilos, whatever you want, and just drive out and leave it there very tidy. So access on this drill is really, really nice. It's easy to get to everything and work on it. Number 8's got to be how low maintenance this drill is. So you've got one of the most sophisticated no-till disc coulters on the market. The whole drill has got 10 grease nipples. So you've got 2 on the front on this hitch, 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. They're dailies. You've got 4, 1 on each pivot for the wing, so we're at 6. They would be weeklies for the folding, and then you've got 4 on the hydraulic rams on the back for the rear wheels, which again I would do daily. So 10 grease nipples on the whole drill. All the bearings and bushes are sealed, you won't get any dust in there. They last for a very, very long time. She really doesn't need a lot of looking after. Number 9's got to be how easy this drill is to set up. You basically have to do 3 things to get it working in the ground. Firstly, you choose your hydraulic downforce. Typically, most conditions, we're drilling between 30 and 40 bar. If it's really hard, we'll crank it up to 60, maybe 50, 60. If it's ridiculously hard, you might go towards 70. I've never had it up at 80. That's all controlled there, just on this little dial. Next thing, so we got our downforce. The next thing is just our depth. Our depth control is done here. You can see how easy that is to change. It's dictated by that gauge wheel. The final thing is the closing wheel on the back. I've shown you how to do that. That's just on air in the cab as you're going along. If you've got row cleaners, they're controlled on air in the cab as you're going along, so you can set all those 30 row cleaners in 10-20 seconds, get them dialed in so they're just parting the trash but not flicking too much soil. It is so simple to use this drill. You can set it up in seconds. Operators love it because it really is nice to use. Number 10's got to be how well this travels on the road. Doing demos, we do hundreds of miles with it. That voucher does 57k and it follows absolutely lovely. It's a big drill, but you can take that down some pretty narrow roads. It sits on there really, really nicely. Whoa. So I'm at a show down in mid-France near La Rochelle. I was in my hotel editing this video last night and I've realised I've missed loads of really cool things about the DSX. Really important features, so I've got 4 extra things to show you. So if you're still watching at this stage, hold on, I'll be really quick. But I've got 4 extra things I want to show you. Here's our show rig. I'm here with our dealer Latitude. Let me just show you these 4 extras. Extra number 1 of the 4 extras I want to talk to you about is how this frame is completely extendable from 4 meters all the way out to 8 meters. So this is a 6 meter drill. That is the frame for a 4 meter. We can bolt the wing extensions on to make it a 6 meter. The 6 meter is very popular. If, however, you realize you can pull it very easily, you're doing more land because you're doing more direct drilling or more cover cropping, you can extend that to 7.2, 7.5 or 8 meters. So the same frame can be fully extendable from 4 meters to 8 meters, which is really cool. Farmers love it. It means if they buy a 4 meter drill, it could be anything up to 8 meters in the future. Option number 2, or extra number 2, which I haven't spoken about, is the hydraulic weight transfer, which is really key to making a direct drill work in lots of different conditions. Not many other direct drills have got this. That means we can basically distribute more or less weight on these wheels and transfer it onto the coulters depending on conditions. So we've got these spacers in here. If we want to take more of the weight off these wheels, lift these wheels up, I would simply take some spacers off. If I wanted to transfer it the other way, I would take them, put more in. So it's really hard and dry, and we need the weight of these wheels to penetrate, which you really never do with a Horizon. But if you did, you could take these out. If it was wetter and you wanted to bring some of the weight back onto these wheels, you can do that. So that weight transfer system's really cool. Extra number 3 that I haven't spoken about, which is criminal because they're fantastic, are these D-cup diffusers. So they are pressure release for the hydraulic fan, for the air hose, but they take 100% of the air out of the hose. So no other drills have got those. They take all the air out of the hose, and then the seed is delivered by gravity down to there. So the reason we've got those is seed bounce for any no-till drill can be a challenge, and this limits all seed bounce. How other drills overcome that is they will have a seed firming wheel or a firming tab here in the furrow, keeping the seed in place, but we don't need that, which means we haven't got all the congestion in there. If it's wet, if it's late on, there's a lot of chopped straw, sticky clay, it's fantastic not having all that congestion in there. You'll be able to drill for longer and it will keep the furrow cleaner. You won't get blocking up of mud or dragging of straw. So these are really good. They're not cheap. You think we've got 32 of them on this drill, it all adds up, but they're definitely worthwhile. So that's extra number 3. The last extra I wanted to talk about, which I don't think I've fully explained in the drill, is just how good in the video, is just how good the depth control is on this drill. With that parallelogram coupled with that coulter the depth control being right there at point of seeding, we are working with precision planting
seed depth there. So our seed depth is always within 2-3 millimeters of where we want to place it, which for a cereals drill is market leading. Not many other drills are doing that. So yeah, those are my 4 extras: extending the wing, weight transfer on the back, air decup diffusers to stop seed bounce, and just how good that seed placement is.